G'day, mate, and welcome to 2023 with me, Jitty. Yep, it's a new year. I want to give you guys this channel update video because, well, we're going to be doing some changes. We're going to be doing some changes around here, and I want to talk about a couple of things. Hence, I'm going to be splitting this video into roughly 3 parts. I want to talk about, well, first, the past, 2022 and prior, just so we can sort of know how we got here, because I think it's important to know your history so you can look at your future. On top of that, I want to talk about the second sort of chapter of this video, which is 2023 and going forward. Some of the changes that I want to do on the channel, some of the changes that you may like, you may not like, and I think it's important that we do these channel update videos so you can sort of have an idea of what changes may come and give your opinion down in the comment section, because I do take a lot from the comment section of your guys' thoughts on things. And the third part of the video is going to be, well, games that I'm definitely going to be covering this year, also games that I might cover this year, and just as importantly, how you can suggest that I cover other games during the year. So I haven't put any chapters down the bottom because I don't really want you to skip ahead. I really want you to listen to the whole video so you have context. I will have Editor GD insert some sort of graphics because I'm talking to a black screen at the moment, so I can think about what I'm saying rather than trying to concentrate on whatever gameplay is happening on the screen. Good luck, Editor GD, because I'm probably going to be all over the place. Anyway, firstly, in 2022, I released 400 videos. That is 8 videos a week. That is a lot of work. So consequently, I'm taking a break. You may have gathered that already because I haven't had any videos for the last couple of days, but for the last 5 years now, I basically haven't stopped working. I've been uploading videos just about every day. Even when I've been unwell, I haven't really taken a break. And what am I doing on this break? Well, I'm working. I am 100% working. I am streamlining processes. I'm also need to finally learn Photoshop. I have owned Photoshop for 3 years now, and I opened it. I looked at the UI, went nope, and closed it, promising myself I'd look at it again later, and it hasn't happened. Yeah, so I think it's time that I finally learned how Photoshop works. Really would probably help with the whole making of thumbnails thing. Also, I need to either learn Premiere or Resolve, because up until now I've been using, I know it was owned by Sony, I think now it's owned by Magix Vegas, which has worked. It works very well. It is a video editing program. It's a video editing program I'm very familiar with because I've been using it for 5 years. The catch is it's very, very slow. Very, very, very slow. And doesn't have a lot of features that both Premiere and Resolve do. And I've had Premiere for a couple of years now. I have learnt some things in Premiere, but not enough to use it full time. So I need to this week, however long, sit down and learn either Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. I need to become proficient with either of them so I can stop using Vegas, because it's definitely holding me back and it's costing me time, which is one of the things I need to change in this year. I need to have more time. I need to spend less time waiting for rendering and more time actually producing content. Which brings me into, well, some other changes that happen around here. So in 2021, not last year, but the year before, I actually converted my garage into a studio. It turns out whilst doing that, the channel suffered quite a bit because I was very exhausted. I was recording every day, editing videos, uploading thumbnails, comments, the whole works. But then in the afternoons, the evenings, and on the weekends, I was working on actually converting, like I said, my garage into a professional studio, which is really good. I've got a quiet working environment, and it's great for the videos. But I moved in the start of 2022, and it's still unfinished, like very unfinished. I want to spend some time doing some things in the studio, like mainly having PowerPoints and lights, because I've been here in a year now, and I have 2 extension cords that run around the room to do all the power. Plus, I don't have any lights still. A year without lights. It's a thing. Just accept it and move on. It's been a long year. So that's one of the other things I really want to get done. I want to have that up and running so I can, come down here and turn on the lights when it's dark, rather than, shift a mouse and the monitors turn on and that'll do and we're good for another couple of hours. Anyway, next thing I want to talk about is ad-free 2022 was something that we did last year, and it all started because of a comment. At the end of 2021, yes, one of the videos, I had a very good comment, a very, very well laid out comment, insisting that I shouldn't run ads and everybody should support instead, because the videos were very high quality, the tutorials were great, so on and so forth, and I should be able to run the channel and make as much money from fan funding as I would from ad revenue. I want to try it, and I want to try it for 3 months, and that was going to be the plan. It turns out we tried it for a whole year, and although ad-free 2022 worked well, it's just not quite enough. And I have the graphs, I have the data, which I'm happy to share with you guys. And I do want to mention that I have a higher retention than most channels. I have more wonderful fans, fan funding. Yep, that's the correct sentence. This endeavor than most channels. I really do well, but at the size of the channel, it's just not enough. 15% of all income is from YouTube members, 22% is from YouTube Premium, and other channels that have shared their stats, they'll normally tell you their YouTube Premium is like 5% of all revenue or less, and the last 60% is from ads. Now, I only run ads at the start and the end of videos, because if I don't, the videos get tanked by YouTube, because YouTube doesn't make any money, and, you know, Google likes money more, so it probably costs a fair bit to actually run the whole YouTube platform. So it's important that they run ads on their own platform, which I understand. But even if I add Patreon to my list, well, Patreon to the graph, over 50% of my revenue is just from ads. And we can see in this particular graph here that hopefully Editor Jetty can insert at the right time, and this is where I'll just give him a second. Hopefully. Yeah, good. All right, I put a single ad. Just one ad in the middle of the Ixion tutorial videos, right at the end of the year, and we can see this giant spike in ad revenue, and that is because I added one ad, which means in 2023, ads are going to be part of the channel, which it sucks. I know it sucks. I hate ads just as much or probably more than you do, but it's not about becoming rich. It's not about having a $10 million studio and a Lambo parked inside the studio, CoffeeZilla style.
Because this may be the last time you look at the $10 million studio.
It's just about making enough money to put food on the table and pay the bills. A year of YouTube money, it paid for a car at the end of the year, and not even a good car. It's a 17-year-old car, and a 10-day family holiday over Christmas that my partner almost left me at home for, as I was uploading videos and thumbnails at 4 a.m. prior to us leaving at 8 a.m. the very same day. Yup. So for that dedication alone, can I get a like on the video? I'd very much appreciate it. And this is also why the Ixion series didn't have a 12-day gap in the middle of it, because everything was recorded and done prior to me leaving on Christmas Eve. I would have actually honestly changed the direction of the series for probably the last 10 episodes or so. I just didn't have time to reshoot any of the changes needed prior to leaving Christmas Eve. Like I said, I cut it very fine. 4 hours of sleep before a 5-hour car drive, where I was actually driving as she was also driving her car. Yeah, it was cut very fine. Anyway, yes, and even though I went away for 10-12 days, I took 800 hours of past Twitch streams with me and rough edited them whilst I was away. Yeah, a little bit of a workaholic, but ads is where it all started. So ads going forward. In Let's Plays, I want to experiment with ads. I would prefer to keep them out, but I'm figuring 1 or 2 ads per 40-minute video plus, because we all know my Let's Plays are not magic 22-minute videos fit nicely into the YouTube algorithm. They're generally twice that amount of time. So I'm thinking 1 or 2 ads is probably okay. And as for tutorial videos, they will have ads. It's just going to be a must. They're going to have 1, 2, 3. I don't know. We'll have to experiment throughout the year, but I can promise you they're going to be in chapter breaks in the tutorial video. So they're going to be as unobtrusive as possible. Which brings us on to the changes for 2023. Something I found out last year is I sort of became the de facto authority on a bunch of games because of the amount of tutorial videos I did and the fact that you guys liked them, you found them helpful, and I sort of became the go-to guide for a number of games. It's something I want to do more of this year. I made the mistake last year and previous to that of Let's Plays. I enjoy Let's Plays. I enjoy the long Let's Play, the same type I do. It's the main content I actually watch on YouTube myself, but those videos always came first and the tutorial videos came second, which means there are still some tutorial videos I just haven't got around to doing because I just ran out of time. So one of the changes I want to do going forth is the tutorial videos will come first. When I have an idea and a topic that I want to cover as a tutorial video, that's what I'll be doing first. it means that there are going to be days where I miss out on Let's Play videos because, well, the tutorial videos take a long time. They take anywhere from 4 hours to 12 hours normally to do, and sometimes they're really quick, but often they're not. So there are going to be days where there just won't be daily uploads. By the same token, if I get lucky and I get a couple of tutorial videos done quickly, they're going to be released straight away. So you may have situations where I release 2 or 3 videos a day. So I ask a couple of things. One, especially because, well, I'm 750 subscribers away from hitting 25,000. I'd like you to hit the subscribe button. On top of that, you're halfway through-ish a channel update video, which means you're invested. You're invested. Hit the subscribe button because you want to. Lastly, I don't ask often, but I'm going to ask going forth, I think. Can you ring the bell? Can you turn on the bell? Can you turn on the notifications? Because, like I said, this year I expect the upload schedule to be very, very different. I'm not going to be releasing videos always at the same time. They'll be released when they're ready, especially when it comes to tutorial videos. They could go out, like I said, 2, maybe 3 in a day. Other days, there might be 2 or 3 days without a video just because they're taking longer than I had hoped. Which also brings me on to, well, other things I want to do going forth. I want to do more Let's Tries. Now, Let's Tries is something I did in 2021 and 2020, and it's something I didn't have time for last year. It wasn't entirely true. It's something I tend to do on Twitch. Speaking of which, you should go follow me over there. I stream on the weekends, and I stream generally for long enough that it really doesn't matter what time zone you're in. You can generally catch part of the stream, whether it be all of it, the start of it, the middle of it, the end of it, whatever it happens to be, you can generally catch some part of the stream. So I recommend you go follow me over there. On top of that, you remember those 800 hours worth of footage that I took away on holidays and my partner didn't find out I was editing whilst we're away on holidays, so I lived long enough to come home? Well, I've actually been editing those and they're being released over on my secondary channel. Yeah, I have a secondary channel. It's where all the Twitch streams end up. So if you want to see some of those, well, Let's Tries, where I spent 4, 6, 8 hours trying out, well, Astro Colony. Astro Colony comes to the top of my mind because a couple of people have asked me to try out Astro Colony, and I already have twice. Well, then you can go find it on my secondary channel, which means I'm going to ask that you consider subscribing there as well. So, you know, subscribe here because I'm 750 subs away from hitting 25,000. Follow me over at Twitch so you can get notified when I happen to be streaming, which is going to be on the weekends, possibly with a couple of extra streams thrown in coming up this year, but we'll work that one out as the year progresses. And then lastly, subscribe to JD Raw and Uncut because you get the full raw and uncut version of JD, which means well, jokes come out of my mouth that well, you probably wouldn't find on a normal YouTube channel. Also, it's 200 subscribers short of 1,000, which means when I hit 1,000, it means I can sign up for the YouTube Partner Program, which means it'll actually have less ads on it. I know it doesn't really make sense, but when you're not partnered, YouTube runs ads wherever it seems, wherever it deems it wishes to, which it means I have had people tell me that they've watched some of the streams and they've had like a lot of ads in the first hour and then nothing for the rest of the stream, which is problematic. So I just like to put in a simple ad break every hour on all future streams and we'll call that there. But I need 200 subs first. So go hit subscribe over there. Next thing I want to do is the Let's Tries. Let's Tries, well, I want to do more of them here on this channel. I want to take games like Astro Colony, where I've spent 8 hours, and I want to try and show you sort of like the early game, then a little bit of the mid game, and then towards the end game in one concise video, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever it happens to be, just so you can get a better idea about a lot of these games. There's a lot of games that, well, I had a chance to try over at Twitch that I just never made a YouTube video for, and I've been requested many times. Some of the top ones that come to my mind is, well, Diplomacy is Not an Option, Wandering Village, Astro Colony. There's been a lot of games that I've had a chance to try, but I haven't had a chance to actually make a YouTube video here dedicated on this channel. It's something I want to change for next year. Another thing I want to do is I want to do more collabs. I haven't actually had a chance to do a collab at all last year, which is a little bit sad because now I have my own studio, which means if I have to record at 4 a.m. to fit in with somebody else's schedule, I can, and I have done in the past, but now I can do it much easier. So yes, can you do me a favor? Down in the comment section, leave some of the names of your favorite content creators who have a similar channels, similar interests to what I do. Also, reach out to your favorite content creators, those that you know and love, and find out if they'd be interested in doing a collab with me. Which also brings me on to my next topic of branching out into more games. Turns out Cosmoteer I was recommended by a viewer, and I tried it and I loved it instantly. Another game was Ixion. I tried the demo and it had some potential, but I really wasn't sure from the limited demo, and had I known it was an event-based game, I probably wouldn't have chosen to play it on the channel, but I actually really enjoyed it, and so did you guys. So we have a dedicated Discord channel which has been updated and changed, and now it has a forum thread, forum format, that's the words I'm looking for you guys to recommend games for me to play. And at the same time, I'm going to do my best to answer questions on games that I have already tried. Like, again, Astro Colony is still right there at the top of my mind. So if you want to know my thoughts and that sort of stuff, I can at least link you to the past live streams where you can check them out and go from there. Also, there's one other thing I want to change up this year, which is Let's Play format changes. Yeah, I have said I enjoy the longer style Let's Plays. It's what I watch personally on YouTube. It's also what my channel tends to be. But I want to do some changes going forth, because we all know from, well, every content creator knows that when you do a Let's Play, the viewership drops episode by episode. And I want to do some things to mitigate that. I know lots of people that get interested in a game, but you don't really want to watch 20 episodes for Let's Play to try and catch up with where it's up to. So I want to do some stuff to mitigate that in the future. Not going to go into a great depth at the moment, but there are some format changes I want to do to sort of help people get into a Let's Play halfway through. So that's really the big changes for 2023. I'm sure there's going to be lots of other minor ones along the way, which brings me on to the games of 2023. Those that I will be playing. I guarantee that I will be playing at some stage. Those that we might play, depending on when they come into early access, and those that we've played previously, we might play again, depending on, well, whether they have any updates of substance. Yes. Any updates that make them interesting enough to bring back and put back on the table and play another time. So those that we're definitely going to be playing. Captain of Industry. Captain of Industry just had an update with the new Pirate Island, which I covered previously. Again, if you've missed that, I'll put a link up in the top right-hand corner. But we may visit it, we may not. I'm not making any guarantees, because they do have another update scheduled in Q3 of this year. And that's a major update with new recipes, new tech tree. Many new updates have been promised and planned. Then I'm definitely going to be covering it in Q3. Whether it actually comes out in Q3 or not, I don't know. It's a dev timeline, so we will see. Another one that I'm definitely going to be covering, and in theory should be out sometime soon, is Dyson Sphere. Dyson Sphere has a combat update due in Q1. It was due at the end of last year, but it got pushed back. So in theory, it's due at any time now. That one, definitely going to play it. Definitely going to play it. I love Dyson Sphere. Waiting for that update. Next one is Planet Crafters had about 3 updates that I've missed, and it has more updates coming. So it's a game I'd really like to revisit. I also like the style of how I did the videos. So we'll see where I can fit that in, but it's definitely a game that's still high on my radar. Astro Colony, I know I've already mentioned this a couple of times, but like I said, I tried it in the beta. It had some bugs. I tried it again in pre-early access before it actually released to Steam. It still had some bugs, and it has had a lot of updates since, and supposedly I've seen others play it, and most of the bugs seem to have been ironed out. So maybe this is going to be my first Let's Try video of 2023. Well, we will see. Timberborn, we played that quite recently, and if they ever decide what's going to be going and staying with any particular update, we'll try it again. Unfortunately, golems got changed, changed, removed, added, and have been changed once again, which sort of killed that Let's Play where it stood. Yeah. Oxygen Not Included, I haven't played for a very long time. Maybe 2023 is finally the year to try it again. I've just bought a new PC, so maybe I can play it without it turning into a slideshow, because that's generally how Oxygen Not Included ends for me. It just becomes unbearably slow. Also, Factorio, the DLC, is rumored to us to have some sort of update towards the end of this year. So maybe Q3 as well, Q4. We'll see about that one. Also, a bunch of games I'm waiting on early access dates. We have Tectonica. We have also Hostile Mars, which is like a Satisfactory with tower defense, which is actually a lot of fun, I have to say. If you're interested in that one, I will put some links, I don't know, maybe down in the first pinned comment below, or maybe up in the top right hand corner for Hostile Mars. I've already had a chance to play it a couple of times. It's interesting. It's still very early. It has some bugs, but as a concept, I like it. Also, Terra Nil. Terra Nil was a Factorio in reverse. You were cleaning up the planet after, well, the Factorio engineer had been through it. Interesting little game. It's something that I'm gonna wait and see when early access happens, and we'll take it from there. Also, Infraspace. I've done 1, 2, 3 videos on, just minor videos. But it has some potential. It has some very real potential, so it's something I want to keep an eye on as well. Also, there's a bunch of games that we might possibly revisit. I don't know. Dream Engines, Nomad Cities, Voxel Tycoon, Rail Route, Sweet Transit, Stardust. I really enjoyed the game, but it didn't do so well here on YouTube. Everybody over at Twitch enjoyed it, so it depends on game to game. It is very much RimWorld in space. Well, RimWorld prior to crash landing on the planet RimWorld. Yeah. So, yeah, it's something that we'll see. We might try again this year. Also, other games that just never made it to YouTube. Some I've mentioned already, Wandering Village. Diplomacy is not an option. V Rising, Hydroneer, which Hydroneer seems to break every single time I touch it. So, yeah, also Against the Storm. I've been asked a couple of times whether I'll play Against the Storm. I tried it over at Twitch. So, again, I'm going to put a bunch of links probably down in the description below for mainly the second channel. There's going to be a lot of links for the second channel for games that I have tried, and it's why I recommend you go over there and hit subscribe, because chances are when you're looking for a game and you're wondering whether I have tried it, I possibly have. If not, come over to Discord. Come over to Discord and make your suggestion there. Maybe I have played it, maybe I haven't played it, maybe I've never heard of it, and therefore, well, you need to make the recommendation so I can hear about it, so I can then play it in the future. But this is where this particular channel update video is going to end. It has been a great 2022. I thank you guys so much. It has been such a blast. I'm hoping 2023 will be just as good, if not better. But right at the moment, I need to get a bunch of renders done. I need to start learning Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. I also need to learn Photoshop, and I hate the particular microphone you've been listening to for most of 2022, and also for part of this video, and I want to swap over to this microphone instead, which doesn't sound as good just yet, but I'm hoping with a touch more EQ I can make it sound better, and this is going to be the permanent microphone going forth, because the other one has some sort of resonance of my particular talking pattern that it picks up, which just sounds horrible, and I hated it all year, and I can't do anything to fix it, so it's time just to get rid of it, swap it out, and get a different one. Use a different one. Anyway, with all that said, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed this sort of layout of what's happening, what's going to be changing going forth, and I hope to see you guys in the very next video. Not that I have any idea when that is, but hopefully it's really soon. Anyway, with all that said, thank you for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you in the very next one. Bye.